Long tongues lick ladies. Hey, we're Radio Loud. Got Steve-O, Sackmaster with us today.
Steve-O in the fucking house.
Yeah. So happy to see you. Myself, Stefan Weber, and our always beautiful Douglas Dobert.
Beautiful.
Snap for me. So,
I got a tail.
regale us.
All right. So, a couple weekends ago, I went out of town. We talked about that. I went out of town. I come back. And no one took out the recycling or the garbage or anything while I was gone, so I missed it on Monday, so our garbage bins have been full. And this previous Sunday, I go outside to take everything out. All the bins are full, and there's like a couple boxes with like absolutely rancid garbage next to our garbage.
Is it inside?
What do you mean inside?
Inside? You didn't take out
like
garbage?
next to
It's
the
just
bins,
sitting there?
No, next to the bins outside.
All right.
And it's like absolutely disgusting, like rancid meat. There's fruit flies all over it and stuff. And I take it and I pick it up and I throw it in the garbage because the garbage isn't as full, just our recycling. I open up our recycling, there's garbage in our recycling. And I just think there's an older guy in our building. He's made maybe a small mistake, or like he just got confused or something like that, or he's older, he just like couldn't haul it all out there or something. So I didn't really think anything. I took care of it and then I put the garbage to the curb. Now Thursday, I get a text, or Tuesday, I get a text from Brittany. She's like, there's more just rancid meat in, like, Pick and Save bags next to the yeah, just sitting next to the garbage can. And I told her we'll just pick it up and text Barb or my landlord, and we'll go back over, we'll, like, review with everybody how to dispose of garbage.
It's amazing that you even have to fucking think of
Review
this.
with how to dispose of garbage.
But I'm not done with
We're
this
throwing
yet.
you
On
out, Steve-O.
Thursday, Brittany texts me, I took the dog out, and now there's more bins next to our garbage. Because our landlord brought us another recycling bin because ours were full. And I'll just return it from where she got it from. But there was like Amazon boxes with more rancid garbage in little Pick and Save bags. And I go check the address. It's for that huge apartment complex next door to me. Someone's been walking their garbage all the way over. I'm talking, this is a pretty big trek over to our place and just dumping their garbage.
Right?
So I
You busted out the spy cam?
No, I was gonna take all the garbage and leave it in their entryway because it has this dude's fucking address on it.
Right.
Like what? Why would you do this?
What a cunt.
And it's not like there wasn't even room in the garbage. He was putting it in the wrong bins. He's just illegally dumping crap in my backyard.
Like, I've always been paranoid about that, like when I take out cat shit, because sometimes I'm too lazy to take the receipts out of the bags. And I'm just thinking to myself,
No one's
there's
gonna dig
fucking...
through that.
But yeah, nobody's going to dig through fucking cat shit or whatever.
Oh, man.
But my neighbors are dumping garbage in my garbage bins, and they have huge dumpsters. I don't even understand why this guy would waste the time
Right.
walking all the way over here to dump this shit.
I mean, think in a building like that, they'd have a fucking chute. It's so big.
yeah,
Don't
I
they have
don't
underground parking, too?
Yeah, I don't understand.
What is he doing?
So my landlord, I told my landlord, well, I'm just going to go dump this in their entryway because other people will leave the building and see his address and just be like, what's wrong with this guy? He's
Right.
leaving garbage in the entryway. But she wanted to go a more professional route and contact their like management agency and all this other stuff.
Stefan Weber, Neighborhood Watch. Dun dun.
Dude, I was like pissed because it was nasty stuff, like old rotted meat, and it just attracted all these flies and maggots and stuff. And
Get yourself some bot flies, man.
Human botfly.
it's gross.
Dude, those things are fucking gross. Have you ever seen like some like the extraction or
Yeah, like they put a
hatching of that
slab
shit?
of, or a guy tried putting a slab of meat on his skin to extract one, and it just like hatched more of them.
Like what?
Yeah.
What was the logic behind that
He
shit?
thought it was going to burrow into the meat. Like I watched it in science class in high school.
It's already burrowed into your fucking arm, dude.
It's already burrowed into your meat, motherfucker. Like,
Ugh.
apparently it like gave it like a breeding ground.
You don't say.
Yeah.
How long did he leave the slab of meat on there? 5 minutes? What?
I think he went to sleep with it, if I recall it correctly.
What, he like saran
And it
wrapped
just did
to
it
his
overnight?
body?
In his stomach. Yeah. I don't recall the whole thing. I'll have to look
That's
it up.
some fucking
But,
home doctor. Some home doctor dumb shit.
and it just kept getting like worse and worse, and he's just like yanking bot flies out of his skin.
That's some tryptophobia
Yeah.
type shit.
Right.
Steve-O dated a girl who had that like tryptophobia thing.
bad.
And he didn't
half
know.
of those. That's the holes, right?
Yeah.
Half of those pictures are fake though.
Yeah, a lot of them are doctor, but
Still.
strawberries fuck with her.
Still fucks up. This fucks with people.
Like-
You didn't know about that shit until it was like live in her face,
Yeah.
right?
I'm like, check this out. She's like, what the fuck? I'm like, what? She's like, it's disgusting. It makes my skin crawl. Like, oops.
Dude, there was, talking of phobias, we were doing a creative writing assignment in a language class in high school, and the teacher literally was picking random objects out of a paper bag. I wasn't even looking, and she'd set it on your desk, and you had to write like a descriptive essay about this thing.
What'd you get, a dong?
I don't remember what I got, but
Oops, that's not supposed to be in that bag.
what happened was this girl got a cotton ball set on her desk, and she fucking stands up like you put like a fucking gun on the desk or some shit, and she's like, oh my god, get that fucking thing away from me. And this girl had a phobia of cotton. Like what
does she wear? Just polyester or what?
I don't I don't think
She's
it's,
wearing Adidas tracksuits everywhere she walks.
Windbreakers.
it was kind of crazy. She was like one of the more popular girls, and she just had this fucking meltdown because apparently she had this huge phobia of cotton balls. And I think it's more of like the aspect of like the way
They
the
feel when you grind your
fibers-
teeth on them, or
Yeah.
what?
Yeah,
Grind your teeth out.
that even makes me go like a little. Ugh.
No, texturally, I don't like fucking with them because they'll like, I'm a cook, so I like cut my hands a lot and stuff, and they'll
Yeah.
like get snagged on shit, and like there's that like weird like snagging, grinding feeling to them and shit, and it's like ugh, like
The
get
residual
fuck off of me,
cotton,
Like cutting your toenails and then putting them into socks. And like the
Yes.
little like get a little snagged. Oh, look at his fucking anguish. It's just like oh.
I just got a track yesterday on one of my fucking socks.
Welcome to Phobia Cast, where we talk about your deepest, darkest phobias. So yeah, out of like 30 objects, what are the odds of this one chick getting something that she has an extreme phobia out of in front of all her
I
peers?
mean, out of
too?
something so mundane too, a teacher wouldn't think somebody's gonna be afraid of cotton balls.
Yeah, she literally had to go, wait, what? Are you serious? She's like, yes, oh my God, get that away from me.
Because some women even use cotton balls to like clean their face and stuff. So that girl must use a washcloth or something. That's just
Well, they got the pads. Those are a lot better to clean your face
the
with.
fat ones,
Yeah.
the flat
I have
ones.
some of those.
Much better.
Yeah, but that's the thing about phobias is that it just doesn't
They're
make
irrational.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, completely irrational.
Irrational.
But you'd never expect that as the teacher never expected that. I should say.
Now, how is the thalassophobia a phobia then?
Is that the
because
depth?
yeah, that's not irrational. That's fucking scary,
It's
man.
completely rational.
Right?
Like our buddy was really bad with that. Handsome.
Oh, handsome.
Yeah. He was really bad with that.
Really?
Like, he's like, I
Whales
just
and shit,
don't know
yeah.
what's down there, man. Like, and he showed us a picture of a fucking prehistoric fish called the Lidsichthys. And it's just this gigantic motherfucker, and he's like, that could be down there. Like, that could be down. I'm like,
Just
that's
lurking.
That's not down there. Like,
Yeah, he'd always describe as him just like treading open water and gobbled up
just gone.
or dragged down.
Or just, treading open water and a piece of seaweed touches your toe.
Yeah.
Just in a lake. That shit even freaked me out, like just being in a lake. One time though, I did.
have an
friend-
actual fish brush up against you because
No.
that's freaky.
We were doing like inner tubing at a lake up north when I used to live up there, and the father of my friends, he just like dumped us in the middle of the lake and was like, all right, swim back. We fucking like swam from the middle of the lake. We had life jackets, but we'd like
So not that big of a
exhausted.
dick move.
Yeah, but like he kind of like stayed just far enough away so we couldn't reach the boat.
I'm gonna get these kids tired, make them go to sleep early tonight. Get these kids a workout.
That shit was fun though. I remember one of the first times I went inner tubing, nobody told me just let go if you flip over.
Yeah.
Fucking hold on to that thing, tore the fucking pants off me. Gone. fucking gone.
Great, dude.
Was it like an audible rip too? Just like a.
No, we were going like, maybe like 30 miles an hour or whatever.
You missed when we went swimming here. And he had those shorts.
Yeah, I had to go out and get
They were
some
real
fucking.
tight.
I bought them because we were planning on swimming, and yeah, they were just a bit too small for your boy here.
Just hugging a little bit.
I got a near death experience on inner tubing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we went rafting on some rivers. It was just me and a buddy. This is a long time ago when we were younger. Like they were not extreme rapids, but there were little parts where it got pretty rocky.
Got a little whitewaterish.
Yeah, but we got stuck. And I was like, "Don't worry, I got this, bro."
Could you center him in the frame there? Sorry.
Oh God.
Well, I said, "I got this." So I get out and I start pulling on this inner tube. Can you see what I did wrong here? I got out and I started pulling on this thing.
A little bit. Wait, yeah, that's good right there. Okay, so you're pulling on the inner tube.
It was stuck, and I got
Okay.
out and I started pulling on it. Do you see what I did wrong here already?
Pulled on it.
Yeah, I'm in front of
And it
it.
fell on you.
And you know what happened? The inner tube got dislodged and it pinned me underneath a rock.
Oh
Yep.
shit!
And my buddy, luckily though, had my arm, and the inner tube went over the top of me. So like it flew over the top of me, and he still had my arm. Like he spun around and he pulled me out of the water. But it would have been bad.
Would have been an honor.
Yeah, push from behind.
I don't have any
Don't pull
horror
from
stories.
the front.
I don't have any horror stories about inner tubing or anything. But when I was on the south side, a kid almost drowned me. He sat on my head in the pool until I couldn't breathe.
Oh my god!
Oh jeez, I thought it was just gonna be we were lazy river. I peed in there.
No,
Sounds like some shit out of fucking not Happy Gilmore, Billy Madison, where the principal, the disgusting blob in his wrestling career, sat on it.
no.
Do you imagine that? Your son comes home and I fucking sat on a kid's head and held him under the water and he died.
He died. He died.
Dude, that's the worst, man. Like just swimming with friends, I've had somebody like push me under and it's like, fuck, what are
this
you
kid
doing,
wasn't a
you
friend.
psycho?
He wasn't a
Oh,
friend.
you just didn't even know him?
He was an asshole. He jumped into the pool. Yeah, it was wild. It was some wild shit. It was a good experience. I thought I was gone.
Yeah,
Tender
at least-
age of 11. Thought I was done for.
I was gonna say at least
it.
at least you
I'll
wouldn't have
never
to
get
come
to
to work the next Monday. All
So,
right. So do we got more stories or we want to go into news?
well, I was gonna say something quick. I had a dream about being on the podcast
And then it happened.
a couple nights ago. No, it didn't happen.
Your
We need to
dreams
make
are
it
fulfilled.
We need to fucking make it happen though.
This
We need to fulfill this prophecy.
This
dude.
fucking dream, dude. I woke up like, what the fuck? So I had a dream I'm on the podcast, and right when you guys start off, you do the fucking beginning kickers and shit. I pull out a can of fucking Cheese Whiz, spray it into my hand, and just start caressing it into my scalp. I woke up like, what the fuck was that about, dude? Like,
I told this story once before, but nobody's ever going to hear it because nobody was fucking listening to us then. But I went to Woodman's one day, like early in the morning, to pick up some like cold brew coffees and just like stash them in the fridge at work. And I park my car. I look over. This is like 5:30 a.m. in the morning. There's a woman sitting in her car with the lights off, putting Cheese Whiz onto a Triscuit or like a
bet
cracker and fucking eating it.
You know what? I bet I work with this woman
that is
because she eats that every day for breakfast, and it's disgusting.
that is great breakfast food, by the way. Yeah,
Except
a
she doesn't do
Triscuit with-
Triscuits at Saltines,
Ew. Ew, even worse.
and she just
Ugh.
Oh God.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Maybe-
that is fucking terrible.
Maybe she's addicted to the propellant. Maybe it gives her a buzz. She's doing Cheese Whiz whippets.
Is that why her voice is so deep?
Wizards.
Hey, you guys want some cheese? Will? You want some cheese?
You want to hit of this shit, man? Fucking ears are ringing.
All right. So news. Let's talk
Yeah, we
about
can
some
talk news.
some
Or do you
juicy
wanna talk
news.
World of Snorcraft.
News.
News.
Because we're going to
Yeah.
get way too into...
Yeah.
I got a local story that you guys might have caught.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys were familiar with this story. I just saw it this morning.
Taco truck guys?
But no, it is the guys who stole the Bronze Angel statue and a bunch of other stuff from Forest Home Cemetery.
I didn't know about any of that.
That place has been a hotbed for that kind of shit for a while.
Yeah, they stole a large statue, the tablet for it, and it sounds like the gate.
They took the gate. I just saw that.
We're gonna set up our own gated community.
Nobody's gonna find us because we won't let them in with these gates that we have.
So they found the people, or
Not to my knowledge. When I first got this story,
Seeking suspects. When is it
6 foot tall bronze angel, and then a 3x6, a pair of 3x6 bronze gates.
Good luck turning that into the fucking scrapyard. I'm just
Yeah, I know
saying,
they're
dude.
gonna have you on the list.
just melt it down?
Yeah, what are you gonna melt it down with? You're gonna build your own crucible?
Yeah,
I mean, it's really.
I've
not
seen
that
it done
hard.
on
Yeah.
YouTube. To be honest,
Yeah, it's really not that hard.
yeah. And it'll just fucking like reform it into a sword. Just
So-
like form some styrofoam, bury it in some dirt, pour the bronze on it.
But when I heard this story, the only thing I could really think of was like a bunch of rednecks with their big truck, and then
Yanking.
just chains and just wrapping it up and just pull it off, Billy.
Fucking 6 foot bronze angel just goes flying, dude.
You know what immediately came to my mind? The episode of The Simpsons where Bart steals Jebediah Springfield's head. Talking, you got something?
I was gonna say I just thought of the Dukes of Hazzard movie when they're yanking the safe all around the road. The one with Johnny Knoxville and the Stifler dude or whatever.
Oh yeah, it's
Sean
like we'd
William
like to
Scott.
offer you 40,000 yen to come work for us.
Yeah.
How's that sound? Sounds like $40. Speaking of suspects and people at large, you want to call up the Tennessee man story, the human centipede story.
What?
If you've heard about this,
Where are we going with this? I have not.
there was a story that came out about a Knoxville man suspected
Okay.
of creating a real life human centipede.
And look at this character.
Look at the caricature. They said that the people who were taken captive, they pretty much described him as having no like redeeming or features that they could really identify him with.
It's a
But
very
they-
bland-looking white male.
They suspect that he was a surgeon because he actually crudely sewed these people ass to mouth together. After, from what the girls said, he enticed them to come under the guise of a job interview and then drugged them through drink. And then, you know, you've seen the human centipede, sewed 2 of them ass to mouth. Oh, God. So
I'm just enthralled by the story. This guy must have seen the movie and just be like, I could do that. You know what I mean? Like it was
That's
done
like-
in the movie.
that was the basis for the sequel of the movie.
Yeah. This guy, Jesus.
Oh my God, that sequel, not to get too far off the story, but the sequel is like one of the few movies I had to turn off because this guy was like sexually infatuated with the first movie. That's how they like set it
That's
up.
how this guy must have been, just going through his entire day, just like, I need to do this.
I must make the human centipede.
So they are saying Caucasian male between the ages of 50 and 60 is on the run. They don't know who it is.
Like honestly, the drawing of this guy looks just so incredibly average, like you said.
Is that the shoe bomber?
Almost. Probably. It looks like DB Cooper almost.
Right, that's what
It's the same fucking caricature you get from every guy that disappears.
This quote from the story really got me. Once inside the warehouse, investigators were appalled by the scene that confronted them. Quote, after a career of 30 years dealing with some of the most heinous crimes you could imagine, this was by far the worst. As we entered the building, we saw a group of 3 women crawling on the floor on their hands and knees in obvious distress. It wasn't until we approached them that we saw the full extent of the situation. The women are currently receiving expert medical care.
care.
They're expected to recover
Well, yeah, hopefully.
physically, but psychologically,
You're
you're gonna be
donezo.
fucked, man.
That is PTSD for life.
Right.
Like that is fucked, dude.
Just imagine that, though, ladies and gentlemen. having somebody sewn to your asshole or being sewed to somebody's asshole. And I don't know if he went through like the whole like forced feeding thing like they did in the movie, but having to
Oh, of course he did.
have
The guy's
somebody
freaking
shit
obsessed
into
with
your
it.
mouth. Oh,
Guy's freaking obsessed with it.
when I first saw the movie, I was like, somebody sat down on their couch and was thinking to themselves, I got a great idea for a movie. And then they fucking went through with it. About a movie about sewing people ass to mouth.
Can't be any worse than Taco Bell.
Oh, that'd be the fucking worst, man. It smells the same going down as it does coming out. Am I right?
Exactly.
What if that was his twist on it and he only fed them Taco Bell?
You're sick. You're sick, Stefan.
Maybe Taco Bell will pick up the movie sequel. I'm sorry.
There's just sponsorship ads everywhere, dude. Slap, slap, slap.
You want an XXXL burrito?
Yeah, rated XXXL. Holy fuck,
I
though.
take that further, but we won't.
You know, I never thought. So the authorities basically said, if you think you've seen this man, do not approach the subject. He might react with violence.
Yeah, by sewing your mouth to someone else's asshole. I'm just saying, like, almost everyone has seen that man in their neighborhood. Like, that is a very stereotypical.
Everybody's
50
seen
to
that man at
60-year-old
work.
White man.
Yeah,
Right.
he's one of the many nameless thousands of engineers at my job.
Basically, I believe most people are like, good people. They're just trying to find their next sandwich. And you can trust most people, but
Not this guy.
It's always one snapper.
yeah, you never know. There's these
Stefan-
fucking people among us.
Just report everyone at your job. Report all those dudes.
Yeah, maybe one of them has to be the serial shitter.
That's another story.
Yeah.
Were you here for that?
I believe I was.
I told you that story.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Stefan's work is a classy.
Don't worry, they just installed like 200 cameras all over.
Ugh. That's even
it's
worse.
even worse.
I'd rather go unsupervised on camera than have a bunch of cameras just to feel safe from the serial shitter.
Dude, that would be even worse. Like, I know, like,
That's not even
cereal
what it
is
was.
like reoccurring, but like, what if he was just shitting in cereal? That would almost be worse.
Just boxes of cereal you open and there's just a log. Like, he got me again. I don't even know who this guy is and he got me again.
The cereal shitter.
Like, really? My honey bunches of oats? Really?
See, he does it in the fucking grape nuts. It's like, this shit has enough fiber already.
You're pouring it out in the bowl and it just boop. It's like it's been breaded with the Honey Nut Cheerios.
Oh, no.
you're just looking at into the bowl. Set your cereal box down and push away from the table and you just leave.
It takes the term "who's shitting your oatmeal" to a whole new level. Dude. Oh, Jesus Christ! Fuck.
What are those? What are the sugar? They're like sugar and multicolored Rice Krispies.
Fucking Fruity Pebbles.
Yeah, Fruity Pebbles. Oh, it's the best.
Fruity Pebbles.
Dude, you just put
He
that
grabs in your Fruity Pebbles.
you just put that shit in your mouth. Not the shit. What you do with the Fruity Pebbles is you don't eat it. You put it in your mouth and then you suck
Yeah.
the goodness out of it. Did you just imagine like getting the
I really can't
the
right
fecal filter?
now. I really don't want to.
Just imagine sucking shit and milk through your teeth.
You just end up with an Oreo cookie smile.
You guys are killing me, dude. I haven't laughed this hard over poop jokes in forever.
Nothing but the fucking best here at Radio Loud.
Here's a poop joke. Guns N' Roses is the first pre-YouTube video to see 1 billion views on YouTube. How does that make you guys
Really?
feel?
Is that November Rain?
Come on, everybody knows
November Rain.
Slash isn't real. What in the fuck, though?
26
Guns N'
years.
Roses out of everything? What the fuck? I mean, I figured like Gangnam Style or something. would have been
Pre-YouTube.
first.
Pre-YouTube
There's-
video.
Oh, Oh, I missed it. Yeah.
The other 46 music videos that have at least 1 billion views were all released within the past decade, when November Rain is the first one past.
That's like my least favorite song by them.
Yeah. Sames. That's why I said that here's some shit.
Here's some poop for you.
So it's really one of those news stories just that's been tailored to become a news story. There's nothing really big about it. There's already been billion view music videos.
Right.
Title, that's all. There doesn't even have to be a story behind it. Just
Oh,
title.
yeah, that seems like something that you would post on Saved You a Click. Love that fucking subreddit. They like take like little like extravagant headlines and then spoil it immediately in the post.
Good.
So they just
They
save you a
should do
click.
that, yeah.
Well, I didn't save you a click.
You
Yeah.
saved me a click because you clicked on it.
Dude, Axl Rose though. Oh man. It
And
is
he
just-
blew up.
Was thinking maybe he had some like
And not in the fame way.
issues.
I mean, he's just blown up.
Like I've only seen it as bad with like did you see the singer from Sum 41 when
He was going through his alcohol issues and stuff.
he apparently had some sort of issue that put him on like a steroid and he just started
Yeah.
retaining a bunch of water and he looked like fucking
Jabba.
Couldn't even fucking recognize the dude.
Yeah. He looks a lot better now. Although it was hard on his body putting all that weight on.
Yeah, me putting all this weight on was kind of hard on my body, too. I just get hungry quicker.
Yeah, look at this motherfucker. Look at this sack of flesh. Look at this pink. When he laughs, he looks like he's squeezing his penis head too hard. His head looks like the vein starts to pop out of the head and it turns purple. All right, what do we got next here? This better be good. Who gives a fuck about Axl Rose?
Here we go.
What do
Do
we
you
got?
give a shit about Aji Pai?
God. What do you do now? What's
U.S.
it?
Court of Appeals rules that the FCC can consider areas with only a single ISP competitive.
What?
Yeah.
What? How? How is that competitive? Like, what did you read the story? You got the details? Like, how are they defining that as competitive?
I want to let you just keep branding for a little bit there.
I swear to God, they were fucking talking about it in the news recently. How the FCC finally admitted that they lied about being DDoS attacked.
Yeah, that happened recently.
So it says if you're not quite sure what the implications of this ruling are, ISPs that aren't challenged by any competitors often have price caps imposed upon them to prevent them from unfairly raising prices for their customers.
Through a government entity or through what? Like in Milwaukee, one of the things that is driving slowly up, we're finally starting to get to see some speed increases in here after it's just been stagnant for years. And you have Time Warner Spectrum.
Did you get the free boost to 200?
Yeah. But it's pretty much like standard practice when you talk to people around here as consumers saying you got to play that game every couple years where you switch between AT&T and Spectrum because
annoying.
yeah, one actually gets competitive after a while. Right now AT&T needs to fucking get their shit together and get competitive in this market because Spectrum is annihilating them
Well,
both
if you're
in
near-
cost and service.
If you're near AT&T's fiber optic service, which is just a fucking ripoff of our local prelayed library, like city library run lines, you got great internet, but you have to live near those library systems
Now,
and stuff,
the thing is,
or where those lines are spread.
with a lot of the AT&T lines, the only advantage you're getting is more upload. You're not seeing the advantage. They're not offering the advantage of download speed. You're still getting like at work. We were examining AT&T because they had already ran lines by us. We actually had to have Spectrum run lines to our building, and it was free because it was less than like 500 feet. The cost was less than $5,000, so they ate the cost, which was nice. But AT&T is already there, and they give you 25 by 25 down and up. Honestly, that's not that fucking great.
How much?
20. I think it was like $100. Spectrum's only fucking for your first year. It's 50 here.
Well, dude, my roommate and I, he has like I think he's doing 400 down.
That's probably Spectrum.
Yeah.
Because he's paying for the there's another tier you can pay extra
Yeah.
for. And I was thinking about getting that for here, but this service is leaps and bounds better than what I was getting, so I figured I'd just enjoy the reduced cost for a while.
Right. Yeah, well, he works from home and shit too, and then we all game on the Wi-Fi and stuff, so it just kind of made sense to get that.
Well, that was the thing here, Stefan. We always had dank internet,
Yeah.
right?
So you ready to hear what happened in this case?
What happened?
So the ruling was that usually they're an ISP when they are the single person who covers an area. Like where I first moved, AT&T was the only place I could get service. Thankfully that changed because I hate AT&T. My parents had them. I thought it was absolute garbage. Always had problems with not only the cheap garbage modems they'd sell my parents, but just the stability of the connection.
That's interesting because I never did, and maybe it was an area affected thing, you know?
But at that time, my parents could only get AT&T also, which is where we moved. But luckily, that changed, and now I have the Spectrum service. But what they've done is the government has like a price cap if you are in an area where you can only get one service provider. So they're saying that they're going to remove that because under the guise of smaller ISPs can merely try to expand their service and then challenge the big guys. But the judges presiding over the case made a statement that said, well, both sides prevent conflicting but equally viable evidence. They're just going to leave it up to the FCC to choose which one they want to take sides with.
It doesn't seem like the FCC has been,
Very neutral in this.
yeah.
Right, like that is set up in order to be like a government regulating body so these corporations can't take advantage
Right.
of people.
And then the smaller guys
now-
have a set price to try and match to expand to.
Fucking world we live in, man.
Right? This is like ridiculous. Like this is like where the real kind of like political arena is like taking place, because it not only affects just like entertainment and stuff like that, it also affects the way
Education, everything happens. Everything's done on the internet.
and discourse, because we're entering the territory where
Sorry.
the potential for like new competitors to come in that might not have the political support or have political differences can potentially be disfavored and not get not be afforded the same luxury that these companies now have.
Oh,
with
yeah, because
speed.
they can take losses left and right.
Right.
When it comes, yeah.
They can pay for the what is speculated to be the coming throttling for sites, whereas I just don't see how that is a free market.
It's not.
Are you saying that you questioning the ethics of this practice?
It's fucking terrible, man. Like, that's the one thing that's gonna get me to riot, man. Fucking with my internet, man. I need a fab.
Do you know what a fat nap is, motherfucker? I need to do it.
Man, that fat nap time machine came up last week too.
Yeah.
Okay, we want to go into something a little bit more lighthearted.
Oh, yeah, I saw this one.
We could go into something more local too.
I was gonna suggest, whatever. What do you got? This is the one. That was the one I was.
This is the one you
suggesting,
want? I saw this too. This is
Let's see these
young
mugshots here.
entrepreneurs
Right?
trying to take
Man,
on
dude.
capitalism.
Right? When I saw this shit, I was like, fucking genius and dumb.
That's the kind of chick I go for. No, I'm just kidding.
So
You
basically,
don't need to lie.
these guys were living in a trailer park. Did you catch where it was? Oh, Florida. Florida couple.
Of course
Not a
it's in
Florida man,
Florida,
not a
dude.
Florida woman, a Florida union.
True love
That is a
in Florida.
power couple. Jay-Z, Beyonce, Florida couple.
Lil White and I don't know who that would be.
So basically, they set up a drive-through operation so people could
She's
come
got
up.
She's got the face like it was a genius idea.
Yeah.
Fuck.
They
yeah,
could
I thought of it.
they could come up and buy their drugs at the fucking window.
Genius.
And their thought behind it was they thought that this would discourage suspicion somehow. by them having to like leave their house and having people come through. That somehow this would be better.
I imagine it was like in the backyard or something, or
It was at a trailer park, from what
Doesn't
I
it say
understand.
drive-through window in mobile home?
Yeah.
Isn't
yeah.
that what
But
it's
trailer parks do. I
guess
don't
it
know how
only
many of
says
you guys
mobile
have been in a trailer park, but they do have quite a bit of traffic. Just like there's
Yeah,
foot
But
traffic,
yeah,
there's people
but
walking
if you
around.
put a drive-through window in your mobile home for drugs,
I don't know the exact scenario. I'm picturing it slightly different in my head. We want to give us the lowdown here, Doug?
Basically, it's what I said. They were selling drugs. They were selling heroin, I believe, and they thought it would look suspicious if they were constantly coming and going. And then
It
they
says
decided
that-
to just set up a window complete with hours of operation. They had like a little
open close sign.
yeah, they had an open close sign.
Yeah, they have a kitchen window that they supposedly changed over inside a trailer home. So
genius.
So what was the logic that would somehow look less suspicious?
Well, here's the thing. Can we see the picture of them again?
oh, here's the close sign.
Oh, nice.
That's the window.
right.
Can we see the picture of the couple again? Someone who thinks that isn't going to be suspicious is someone who does their fucking eyebrows like that. I'm just going to say it. Like- right? Like,
They're never gonna know.
You know,
He looks like he does his too. They're real short.
she does his.
I don't want to shit.
I was thinking the same thing.
I don't want to shit on the ladies too much and attack them or anything like that. But come on, calm down with the fucking eyebrows now. Like having.
You don't like the Sharpie look?
I'm thinking the bushier look
Yeah.
that chicks are going with right
honestly,
now.
just like clean up the,
The
middle,
Sharpied
clean
bushy?
up the unibrow,
Clean up the
a little
middle.
bit. Like
You know,
guys
like a
have to
Frida
do that
Kahlo
too.
look?
But straight up, man, like
Hard
it is.
pass.
It's just like it's escalating.
Yeah.
It escalates, and then you've seen the ones that do it too much.
You mean the one where they have no eyebrows?
No, where they have their whole forehead as an eyebrow.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. The Sharpie, the like Magnum 44 Sharpie marker.
Yeah, where you fucking wind up looking like some sort of like space priest preaching about the fucking spice and how
weird-
the sleeper must awaken.
ICP Final
four-armed-
Fantasy character.
The four-armed emperor. All right, I got a story though.
Oh, what?
The Xenochrist.
So he could be crucified with two arms and still jerk off with the other ones.
I know you guys heard about this. That story's actually been going around quite a few times. Domino's is paying for city road repair.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
because
How
we can't
fucking
pay for our
stupid
own.
Is that?
Well, they did it as a PR campaign where you could vote for your city to get this.
And Milwaukee
they were
is
like-
atrocious.
Yeah. So they got it pitched to the city board, and the city board was like, okay, yeah, why not?
Let's do it.
But not Pizza Hut. How dare I?
damn it.
Speaking of pizza news, Papa John's. Papa John is in the news.
Again? I
yeah.
know he's been fired and he's trying to come back. There's
Yeah.
all kinds of drama. 'cause
That's the
man,
thing.
The man went full
he
Mel
going with,
Gibson.
like, a big game
The
hunter?
first things first with the pizza gods here. Domino's did like this PR thing where it was like, oh, make it easier on your delivery driver and help fill in your potholes. Get $5,000 for your city to fill in potholes. Get $5,000
Is that your corporate Twitter voice?
for potholes, you potheads.
Our roads are really atrocious, though.
Terrible.
They're gonna
Oh,
fill, like,
dude.
They're gonna fill like 2 potholes downtown though on like Water
You're
Street.
gonna be like, dude, we did an awesome job.
I have actually bitched to the city on one occasion now from skateboarding because like I don't care about it much in my car, but like the fucking cracks in some areas on the Oak Leaf Trail, which for the viewers out there aren't from here, we have a award-winning network of trails that go through Milwaukee.
It is wild.
It's,
It
it's
is-
to promote bicycling and non-car.
A lot of times you get homeless people and drug deals going on them,
But it's basically like the city has a freeway system for bikes.
yeah.
And there's like a loop, and then there's a crosstown, and it's just a beautiful network of trails. And most of it is fucking well maintained, but there's some ghetto areas.
It's all pretty new for the most part.
Yeah.
But it's really a shame because a lot of people in the city don't even know about it.
Well, that's what's so nice about it.
But basically, I started skateboarding to work when I could, and I ended up eating shit because the fucking front wheels got caught in a fucking wide enough chasm on this shit.
Is that when?
Yeah. I
But
fucking...
he was on the for those who are thinking skateboard wheels are really tiny. He was on an electrical skateboard, and the wheels are about
90 millimeters.
An electric
they're
longboard.
about five times the size of
Yeah.
a regular skateboard wheel.
Absolutely. So you can ride over like sewer covers and not even fucking feel. You'll feel a vibration on your shit, but it goes right over that
Twigs
shit.
and pebbles won't stop this man.
So this Grand Canyon fucking got my front wheels caught
Did
in
you
it.
try to Evil Knievel it or what? It's a Grand Canyon. I'll just jump.
I thought I could make it because I made it over it going downhill in the morning, but going uphill, I fucking was going full bore uphill and fucking
Oh yeah, you had gravity working against you and
got the
everything.
shit stuck in the crack. The board snapped clean. I've never broken a board so new, so cleanly in my entire life. Fucking all that momentum right in the right into the ground. Fucking
Yeah, you sent pictures of that.
fuck my shoulder up, bruise some ribs. The guy across the street is washing his boat, and he's just like, doesn't even say anything or see if I'm all right or whatever. But I actually wrote into the city. This is like the first time I was like, this is kind of dangerous. Like somebody else is gonna. I have yet to go check if they actually did anything about it, but I did get a reply from a representative who said, yes, we will consider your request and look into it.
If they don't,
Wow,
Probably
that
not.
doesn't sound like a can at all.
if they don't, you know what you do to get it fixed?
Fucking brain
You
yourself on
rocks
the
in it,
sidewalk and
And
die.
you put a big swastika next to it or a penis.
A penis. Just fucking keep spray painting penises on the motherfucker, and then
Dude.
they'll fill it in.
That's actually a really common thing on the electric skateboarding subreddit. Is some users carry spray paint on them
With,
for
like,
the
a
sole
stencil?
purpose, not with a stencil, but like they will mark places that are bad terrain,
That's pretty cool.
and they'll just like keep doing it, just both for other riders to like give them a heads up because the
Right.
city ain't fucking doing it,
Right.
and to like encourage the city, like, oh, if you want to stop the graffiti, and it's not really graffiti, fucking fill the hole.
You
in,
do a
know?
Ruxin, you put a big. He did a swastika on his. Because the whole thing was he was having his kids.
You say Ruxin from the league?
Yeah, he was having his kid's bar mitzvah in the league. And he did the swastika thing, and then it came full circle, Seinfeld style.
You know what we should do? We should fucking every time we see a swastika out in the wild, we should carry spray paint so we can fill in the other lines and
Turn it
make it a
into-
window and turn it into like the Windows logo or something like that.
You don't really
That'd be
see him
cool.
that much in the wild.
Not anymore, because they're all
Yeah.
scared.
You want to tell me about this scary story, though, that you posted on here for Wisconsin workers embedded with microchips?
Oh, it was voluntary. It's not as scary as it thinks, but it's like
As me thinks.
As it, he
it,
already has it.
it was like a funny. It was a unique.
Fucking pod people and shit.
A company is basically using it to have them
Track your
use-
time in the bathroom.
use it in place of no. There's no like
Oh,
tracking.
badges?
Yeah, the thing is, that's what interested me about it because first things first, yeah. Instead of badges, they are allowing people to just opt into this, and they can just go through refields and stuff like that.
It's the mark
It
of the
doesn't
beast.
seem worth.
Nah.
It does not seem worth it.
Slippery slope. Nah.
Yep. But what I wanted to say was we used to manufacture where I work. We used to print like a variant of RFID circuitry where you could have like a metal in an ink, and then you could print it on paper and it would conduct electricity.
Oh yeah, I saw like a video for all that shit.
It's like a method of mass producing it, and it's basically like a barcode. And people back in that era were getting all afraid of, oh, RFID. They're going to track us through RFID chips. And it's
Terrific.
like, that is not the way to do it. Like, there's so much extra noise. Like, it would be like if you were trying to track somebody with an RFID chip from a satellite, it would be like pointing something at the sun and just taking in all the static. There's so much interference
Right.
that it is impossible. And you have to have a large apparatus to power the chip if you want it to be always active. RFID chips work by having a read field. Basically, you know, like you're walking out of the clothes store and the anti-theft. Boop, boop, boop.
Yeah.
That is a field that is designed to excite the chip and get get a response back from them. That's why they demagnetize them, because it essentially wipes everything.
Right.
So you go through an electromagnetic field, and then it excites the chip, and that's how they can scan them. You would basically have to have something like a Minority Report. You ever see that movie?
Yeah.
You know how they like scan.
Stevo's favorite movie of all time.
You know how they scan
Wrong.
their eyeballs when they like go in and out of public places.
The retinal scanners.
That's
yeah.
basically how you would have to. That's how you would track people through RFID.
Right.
You would have to have way stations that people would pass through.
That's not my favorite movie of all time.
And
What's
it's
your favorite movie of all time?
We're not going to get into that because I'm listening about RFID right now.
Tell me what your favorite movie of all time was.
I just wanted to say it's ridiculous because people latch on to RFID for tracking
Yeah.
when people have fucking cell phones.
Right.
There's a battery
That's
in it.
way
It's
better,
active.
easier in
It's
tracking.
way
Like, you ever play
easier.
Pokemon Go and see how accurate that shit gets? Like,
Yeah, that's a goddamn Pokemon.
You ever use a Google Map?
right.
So what's your favorite movie?
I think it's a toss up between Snatch and The Big Lebowski, honestly.
Snatch the porno or snatch the movie?
Well, both. No, the movie. Who this motherfucker actually introduced me to it. You're the
That's
first
the Brad
person to
Pitt-
show me. Yeah,
That's a Brad Pitt one.
yeah.
Where he
Jason Statham.
talks
You like
to-
dags?
talks
I
gibberish.
fucking hate bikies.
It's a good movie.
I gotta fucking rock a piss like a mother.
Dude, we are well into this shit. We're like past 50 minutes, man.
Damn.
Yeah.
Do you want to do this one last story though?
All right, what do we got? Then we can rock up.
I read this one too.
Break.
This is Oregon construction worker fired for refusing to
Oh,
attend
yeah,
Bible
yeah.
study, and then he's suing them. And good for him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, hell yeah. What the fuck?
Apparently, the guy who owns the business set it up as a reform thing, but it's not like advertised as that. Or maybe it is because the guy who is suing them had some trouble. But in order to actually work at this company, you are required to go
Take
to
this course.
a mass.
Yeah.
And not even like a course, it's you have to go to church, basically, or participate in some sort of Christian ideal.
Ew.
And like, I appreciate like what the guy who's behind the company is trying to do. He was a former ex-con. He came out of the system and realized how hard it is for people who have been nabbed by the law to get a second chance. And more power to him for that. But you can't force somebody to go to church.
From what I read in the story, it sounds like he wanted to make them do this during the workday.
Yeah,
What?
yeah. They're making
daily
them
during
do
the
it
day.
during the work.
I mean, like, if you're, like, on the clock?
Yeah.
All right, well, yeah, you're not working. You go to fucking church. Cool.
And
I
that
don't
was the thing.
believe
Like,
in your
I
shit.
would sit with it just because it's like you're getting paid to
Yeah.
do it. Like you're not working.
See,
You-
that's what
I'm
I'm
not gonna
I'm wondering
kneel or
is
anything.
How it's this is what my thing was about this. Now, I don't think you should have to do that as an employee.
Me neither.
Me
None
as
of
a
us do.
me as a person, I'd rather be working, but I feel like maybe this is being spun a little bit, and I'm not saying this is how this guy framed it, but maybe he just he's a devout Christian and he had this during the workday, and he wanted his employees to attend. I don't. Did it say it was mandatory?
yes.
I guess it said required to take place.
It was mandatory because the man was fired because
He didn't-
eventually
yeah.
he just decided, I don't want to go. It's not my thing. I can get behind that. Because, like, honestly, being, like, if you're religious and that's what you do, more power to you. I'm not going to judge you for that. But
You can't force it on other people.
yeah, if you yourself don't actually subscribe to that belief and you're in it, like, it is kind of a little bit slice of hell on earth for the individual.
Yeah. Shit gets a little wacky.
Yeah. And basically, it is illegal to do this. You can't not force.
Yep. Corey Schramm, Portland attorney representing Coleman. This is so illegal.
It's
Quote.
so illegal.
This is so illegal. Unless you're a religious organization like a church, you cannot force your employee to participate in religious
Right.
activities. Sorry, Corinne. I'm sure you don't sound anything like that.
That was a good lawyer voice, though.
We're for Portland. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's. I agree.
This is over.
Mr. Dahl.
This is so over.
Mr. Dahl feels that this is unfortunate that he and Coleman are now trying to exploit.
This guy wins.
Oh, never mind. This
He
is some other
wins.
shit.
Like, without
Yeah.
a doubt, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
They're taking the guy who is the owner of the business to court for like $800,000, which I don't think that's necessarily right. But honestly, like, yes, I do think this should go to court, so this can't be
well, how
done.
much do you think I would have sued my work if I had bed bugs?
I don't know.
Half a
Could ya?
Oh, I guess that's more than half a mil. Probably
Half a
mil.
trill. What up, motherfucker?
Give me my own battleship.
Just build it
Basically.
for me and give
Yeah,
it to
you
me.
can give me the aircraft carrier.
I'll stay out in open waters. There's no laws out there.
Get to
Right.
me.
I can
They can't
sink
get
whatever
to
the
me.
fuck I want.
All right, I think it's time to take a break. We have to make urine. Take a break. We will be right back. And now it's time for some underappreciated OC. It's a suggestion box. This is where we write down ideas during the week and bring them and pitch them, and then just kind of go off the hip from there. So my first one was an idea for a reality TV show, like a competition. So you have like, you know, Survivor and like these elimination challenges. So this would be Survivor Band. This was actually suggested by our friend Rob.
Hey.
So
Wub?
Rob. So it's like Survivor Man, I guess, but with like an elimination aspect and what it's like to just be a filthy musician on the fucking road. Like, and not like you got a tour bus or anything. It's like you have 5 dudes, crusty dudes stuck in a van together, and the shit you got to do to fucking just like
Diapers. Diapers.
So I
I have a question. When you went on the road, did you pack wet wipes?
no.
Because I hear a lot of skateboarders when they go on cross country trips and stuff, they're like, you got to pack wet wipes.
Well, and Robin Big endorsed those dude wipes. So that's like directly from
Well, it's
the
because they're
skateboarding
fucking
world.
paying money to that shit, you know. And I've seen that like
Well, they were talking like Pampers. Bring some Pampers wet wipes when you go on the road.
it's like the same shit. I was talking about that with somebody this week about dude wipes. It's just a diaper wipe, except it has dude on it. It's a man product now.
That's
and
the
it's
one
not
that
a
Robin
baby
Big
product,
endorsed.
You know?
Yeah.
A bunch of people are doing that with like Dollar Shave Club.
Yeah, I saw that.
And they're not paying us, so let's not fucking talk about them.
I heard
This
they're
ain't
nice
fucking
to
Yeah,
work
fuck
with.
you guys.
I heard they're nice to work with, though.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah. A
not
lot of the
fucking-
podcasters out there that I see are just like talking mad shit during their fucking reads, and like actually being able to make it interesting instead of just being like, "Oh, this is the ad copy."
So surviving on the road with a band.
Yeah, and like having it be like Survivor Man, where it's just like, "Oh, what are we gonna do in this situation?"
Pull over on the side of the road in Arizona. Grab a toad real quick and just harvest some DMT.
Oh man, I couldn't imagine that happening because just like having one bandmate fucking blasted off to Mars while everybody else is stone sober, and they'd just be like shrieking in the back of the van. I've seen my own death. I'm aware of my tongue.
That was the coolest thing about Arizona was the DMT producing toads.
Oh. I don't know if you want to out yourself that bad, but if you do want to talk
man,
about
It was
it,
a great experience.
I'll chime in on it, I guess. So fucking, I was down there during the rainy season, and I see all these toads hopping around, so I decided to fucking look them up. It turns out they're Bufo alvarius, their fucking scientific name. And I look into it. They're also referred to as the Colorado River toad. And then people are like, "Oh, these are the fucking toads that produce DMT." And instantly I'm like, "Oh, so people are like out here licking toads for real? Like the natives have done this for years, but that's not the case."
now you have to actually like you have to milk the toad.
Yeah, there's like
technically.
glands on them, and you like squirt their gland onto a glass tray,
I was thinking like udders, like little nipples.
and you let it dry up.
Would you like to know more?
You let it dry up, and then you scrape it up and smoke it. And man, that was some shit, dude. Like, holy
How
shit.
long would you say that lasted?
My sitter said it lasted for like 5 minutes.
Did you experience the time dilation where it
Dude.
seems like it's an eternity?
It was wild. Yeah. It seemed like forever. And then before I go in, he's like, "Don't let my little brother hit it." His little brother has epilepsy and shit. And I'm like, "Cool. Whatever. You're the sitter. You don't let your little brother hit it." And I come down, his little brother sitting right in front of me, cross-legged with the pipe in his hand, just, "Ah!"
Come on, man.
That was a way to come down. Like,
But there's actually like almost like a tourism industry in Mexico for people who want to go do that because it's not like some.
I've seen that for that ayahuasca shit too. They have,
Yeah.
like a whole
I mean, that's the
industry
main
based on-
ingredient. In
Yeah, but they have like a whole
ayahuasca.
tourism industry in the Caribbean islands.
Amazon,
From what I understand, the ayahuasca
Amazon?
tea that a lot of them make isn't as intense.
but it lasts a lot longer.
Yeah,
Hours.
yeah.
People shit themselves on that stuff.
Anthony Bourdain did that.
It was
shit.
on this Chelsea Handler thing that I had
Fucking-
to sit through and watch, which I don't like her that much, at least the presentation of it, but
Vsauce did that fucking shit. Vsauce, Michael here. That guy went and did fucking ayahuasca and the thing. And that's the interesting thing about it. It's like kind of like a taboo like subject, especially in America. But like this is like one of the great educators that's come out of YouTube who actually did a episode of his YouTube Red series about it. It was all about him going to the Amazon and like having a shaman basically walk you through,
Yeah.
guide you through it.
Yep.
It's like the person that's there to make sure that you don't swallow your tongue and choke to death and have a psychotic episode.
the OG sitter.
like,
they call him a shaman.
like you said with the tourist thing in Mexico. A lot of that stemmed from them using it to treat addiction and shit down there in Mexico too, in like these little local villages. They were using that DMT and stuff to.
They
treat
use that.
addiction.
They also use peyote.
Yeah.
I watched a peyote ritual on Hamilton's Pharmacopoeia.
Yeah, with
on
the TP
Hulu.
and all that?
Yeah, it's like a Viceland series,
Yep.
and the person presiding over the ritual has his wife and his son there, and his son has like an alcohol problem, and they're like praying to help him oversee his like or come through his addiction.
Yeah. What's crazy with the peyote and the mescaline and the DMT here in the States, as long as you can say that you're using it in a religious practice, it's protected.
Interesting. I didn't know that specifically.
Yeah.
Makes sense though if people can fucking wear a strainer cauldron on their head and pray to the flying spaghetti monster and be a
You can do whatever you want after
Pastafarian.
that.
That is called a colander.
Yeah, colander. Move to the colander commune and fucking do a bunch of shit.
I turned in all my things, and all they gave me was this lousy hat.
What kind of fucking rituals are the Pastafarians doing, man?
Just making spaghetti.
Taking their ritual is taking a driver's license photo with a colander on their head.
Yeah. Because
Part of my religion.
it's part of like the statement to be like it's part of my religion, even though they know it's total bullshit. It's just like
Yeah.
flexing that.
Oh, and then they go to craft circles and they make macaroni necklaces.
Cavatappi, not macaroni, my friend.
Spaghetti wheels or whatever they're called too. I actually do have a read.
Okay.
So, you guys haven't got to this yet, but in World of Warcraft, there's a mission where you have to protect turtles as they go out
Oh yeah,
into
I've
the
seen
ocean.
the
yeah.
tortillons.
Yeah. But when I did this, I was thinking,
Tortuga.
you know how weird it would be if human babies had to crawl out into the water.
Oh yeah,
And they're just being birthed, and they had to go out into the water, and you just have small children that would instinctively crawl on all fours out into the sea,
and some of them are just getting picked up by birds and
or
shit.
whatever else. Yeah.
Or other people are just like coming out. It's like, oh, they're so delicious. We're gonna make this stew with them.
Other people just
Now,
This is a leatherback and shell is really soft.
what I was thinking of,
baby has made it out into the open sea.
I was just thinking of a human mother going out into the beach, digging a hole and squatting and
Yeah, all
laying
this is still going
10,000
on.
eggs.
Yeah, all this is still going on, and they scurry out towards the open sea, and like you said, other humans, birds, vicious predators
Keep
just
the
come.
plastic straws away from them.
And then you just have it's like a fucking fleet of Nirvana babies through the ocean.
Right? Chasing that dollar bill.
Gotta get that money. Cash rules everything around me. They learn it at a very young age.
Very young. Wu-Tang is for the children.
I actually saw a guy that this could not have just been happenstance, had those fucking it's like a woman from the 1960s glasses, the white brims that Kurt Cobain wore, and like one of those iconic photos. Like this
Yeah, he
guy
wore
was
like the ladies' sunglasses.
yeah,
all
he
the
was
time.
blonde.
They call those clout goggles now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're making a comeback.
Swag.
No fad that was worth doing in the first place ever comes back. Disco's never coming back, man.
Fuck disco.
That's what I'm thinking when I see this guy. I'm at Walmart up the street from here, and this dude walks in with like just shaggy blonde hair in the fucking Kurt Cobain glasses, and I'm just like, dude.
Well, a lot of these like white SoundCloud rappers are taking that like Kurt Cobain look. And
Really? 6'9", whatever his name is.
He's not white. I said white.
That guy
SoundCloud
looks like
rappers.
he's been sucking on some Fruity Pebbles and got that shit stuck in his teeth.
Apparently, he dissed Luda, and Luda's
Oh yeah,
working on some
Luda.
shit.
Luda clap back.
I heard Eminem just dropped like a whole album out of nowhere called Kamikaze, and he was burning them all up.
Yeah, it's basically a piece of fucking lunch meat on a CD.
You don't go for M. Let's just say that in the first place. He has destroyed more careers than people have started up in their lives. Like,
But I heard he worked with Dre on the new drop too.
oh yeah, that's.
I didn't check it out yet.
I haven't either. I haven't been given a lot of new hip hop.
I'm amazed at the only shit I've heard about it is just Facebook posts. I've seen no media advertising it. I'm like so far
Well, it came out of
removed
nowhere,
from the
what, last
advertising
night?
machine, man.
It just came out of nowhere
I
last
don't
night.
know anything about it.
There was
That's
no
the way to
promos
do
or-
it.
There was no promos or anything. It was just like Kamikaze just dropped like an hour ago. No one even knew this was coming out, and it's with Dre.
Respect.
Well, and it's cool because like him and like Royce have gotten to a point. Royce the 5'9", who he did like Bad Meets Evil with and shit.
Yeah.
Like I feel like they've gotten to a point and like built themselves up enough to where like they're kind of going back to like their underground roots and shit. And it's really fucking cool, man. Like.
Just like you got clout, you can call people out on all this bullshit.
Like, dude, who was it? Benzino, who ran that magazine, he shut him down. Everlast tried dissing Eminem, he shut him down. Mariah Carey shut her ass down. Like, he made a diss song about her.
Man, Mariah Carey, what a piece of work, man.
Yeah, back
There's
in the
been
day.
some like allegations of like racism and shit like against her.
Yeah, from some of the news stories that came out about her in the last half decade. have just
racism
been-
towards who? Because she was like
White people.
Oh,
And I guess it's not racism; it's prejudice.
yes.
Prejudice.
But yeah,
Let's get
in
that correct.
in the last like half decade or 5 years, like there's been a bunch of news stories about her coming out just being crazy.
well, yeah, and she's like a
Vicious to
crazy
resistance,
alcoholic.
yeah.
she's a fucking modern era diva. She
Yeah.
is a prima donna.
Yeah,
You
prima.
know?
I was about to just bust
Post-Madonna.
into the song.
She's a
from
post-Madonna.
Phantom of the Opera, prima donna.
She's a post Madonna.
Hey, that's my genre I'm working on, man. Don't associate that with her. Yeah, post Madonna. It's fucking divas going into like ambient noise.
You mean Yoko Ono did it first?
Yeah.
Lennon's
we're
looking
young,
at
but
her
we
like,
know what you did.
What the
And it was wrong. And Chuck
had-
Berry was pissed.
She came out with a new song recently. I don't know what it's all about, but there's like a video that went along with it, and it's just so like
Here is my
So
attempt to
leftover.
stay relevant.
Because I've seen, you guys have all seen that. It was John Lennon, Chuck Berry,
Yeah.
and her. And Chuck
Yeah.
Berry's just like, why did you bring
Dude,
this woman?
the fucking look on Chuck Berry's
He's
face
like-
when she starts going, she like takes the mic and she's just like bang. You can look at her like bang out of rhythm on the bongo that she's been given, and then she just takes the mic for she's like, yeah, and Chuck Berry's fucking eyes pop out of his fucking skull,
Bang.
and
He does-
John
he goes
Lennon just
full-
says fucking nothing.
He goes full toe cutter in Mad Max, just like, what are you doing?
Oh my god! I thought his eyeballs were gonna like pop out of his head like a fucking 1990s
like
cartoon.
this bitch.
He just goes full rat fink, just like,
Lennon, get your girl
Yeah.
right.
He doesn't say anything because Barry and Lennon, even though Barry, he's a fucking piece of work himself, man.
yeah, he is.
And he's well known for this. It's like he like will just like grab his guitar, like fly across the country, do a gig, and then fucking leave. And he's been known to like come up to like the gig and he's like, "All right, boys, you ready to play some Chuck Berry songs?" And he's like never met these people before. That's the kind of fucking like power.
That is the clout he has. Yeah.
Right.
He just passed away like 2 years ago, which is
Kind of like Bill
unfortunate,
Murray
but
being able to jump behind a bar and give everyone shots of tequila no matter what they order.
Yeah.
Same kind of deal.
Man, that is going to be a sad day when we fucking lose that man. It's approaching, man.
I'm like seriously dreading when it happens.
Hey, man, he was there for the Cubs to win the World Series, so
Right? I just always
he's a huge Cubs fan.
I always remember this fucking quote from Steve Zabin on the Bob and Brian local show here in Milwaukee. Steve Zabin is a person who calls in and talks to our local morning legends.
He's their sports digest.
And usually it's just like a bunch of shit talking. Then a lot of times they don't even talk about sports. But I will always remember
Only when it's football season.
one of the first times
Outside of that, it's golf.
in recent years, like since the 2000s, like one of the first run-ups where the Cubs were like, it was the year that the guy caught the ball and they lost the World Series.
Oh, the foul?
They showed a shot of a woman in white gloves, an old woman, and he said, I hate to say it, but she will go to her grave without seeing a Cubs win the World Series.
Ooh.
Because up until they won, they hadn't won since the Ottoman Empire was still a thing. That's
That's one of the things too. Like that used to be like a joke people would like throw around, but that is an interesting
The curse of the Billy Goat, man.
It's shattered now. They're fucking
yeah.
hot. They finally got the
But it
rebuild
was.
up. But that's the thing about baseball is the rebuild for everybody except the Yankees is the most fickle thing in the goddamn world.
Speaking of the curse of the Billy Goat, you remember when we went to that Hawks game on the 19th, and then the next day was my birthday?
Yeah, and on the way
go
back,
to Billy Goat bar on the fucking 20th, and I go out to have a cigarette, and I come in, and these motherfuckers told a bunch of people there that I'm Sackmaster, and it's my birthday, and like, dude, all these people wanted to buy me shots and shit. We're in the Billy Goat bar in Chicago.
remember
like,
on the way back from that, my car
we
got rammed,
smashed
That shit
into,
was-
and then he fucking drove up the grass.
it was ridiculous.
Your insurance company hit me up like, "Are you all right?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine." If it was anyone else, I would have been like, "My neck and my back." Dude.
You know why they
My
didn't
neck
find
and
that
my
guy?
back.
I
my
told them
neck,
the wrong exit.
my back.
I told them the wrong exit on that shit.
Fix my
I thought it was
tailbone
north. There
and
was some
my
other
crap.
exit. That was fucked up.
That was, man. That was a fucked up thing,
I thought we were about to be in an action movie.
right?
Which is like,
And then
only two cars on the road, and he rams me.
and then he doesn't even take the exit ramp. He goes up the grass to get to the exit ramp.
Yikes.
Yeah, dude.
And everyone's just like, oh. Like two people in the back seat were sleeping. Were you asleep too?
I was not asleep.
Yeah.
I was rapping the whole Rick Ross album still, apparently.
That guy, what a fucking piece of work, man.
Well-
Stealing some other motherfucker's name and like notoriety.
Freeway Rick Ross.
Yeah.
Freeway.
Freeway. Oh. Boat. Dude, you were like, I saw this magazine in the fucking store, and it said, "Who's the real boss?" And it was spelled out like
that. Yeah,
B-O-U-S, Baus.
Yeah, BWASS Baus.
oh man, dude.
Okay, speaking of rappers, I gotta read. So, in the news this week, there was a flight with Post Malone.
Yeah.
You heard about that
Yep.
shit? They had to make an
What happened?
emergency landing.
Oh yeah, he almost. Yeah, I did hear about that a little bit.
He's like, I
So
don't like flying as it is.
I immediately thought of the, La Bamba, the guy who did La Bamba. They fucking died.
Richie Valens or
Yeah,
whatever?
Richie Valens. They died in a plane crash. Was
Buddy
that
Holly and shit. Yeah.
that was the thing that they referred to as the day the music died?
yeah.
So I was thinking of this as like also the day the music died because Post Malone landed safely.
Dude, like, honestly, though, like, out of the generation of rappers that are out right now, I feel like he puts out some of the...
Right.
I agree
dig
with you.
him.
I was just gonna say, I actually kind of like. I like his whole just like I don't give a fuck style and shit.
Absolutely, like no dig on like Post Malone himself. It was strictly
Right.
for the fucking joke.
I day the music died.
I know some fucking women who's like a Jewish women who are just like, oh, he's so sexy.
a Jewish woman.
His style is just I don't give a fuck. He was wearing like white cowboy boots, jogger, sweatpants.
Well,
The thing is, like, I feel like when I look at him, I get lice.
yeah, you're not wrong, dude. You are not wrong.
You did though.
The Hot Ones episode with him, because like he dresses like really he does himself up. He wears suits and shit. But apparently, even back to when he was in like middle school and stuff, he would wear his dad's suits and shit, like pressed. He would iron them every day and shit. Like,
Yeah.
he's
Being
always like a really well dressed.
Yeah, he was in some metalcore bands.
Yeah.
So
He's trying
yeah,
to do
he's-
something.
He's and he's done some like acoustic covers and
Yep.
stuff like that. I've seen some local Milwaukee artists. Actually, nobody I actually want to give any play to. Scratch that.
Yeah, fuck you, motherfucker. You ain't worthy.
I think I. Okay.
But what were you gonna say? You tried to collab? He collabed with some of them, or what?
No, it's just somebody did a Post Malone cover and like use that shit. But I don't want to give that.
I thought
person
Post
any
Malone was
play.
in a band, or maybe did
He
something
was
with him.
in some of those bands though.
He seems like a cool guy.
Yeah,
I would kick it with
From
him.
what I hear, he is like a very, very nice individual.
Really laid back and like, dude, there's videos of him at like parties and shit singing like old My Chemical Romance songs with like all the people who came to party with him after his show and just like engaging with everyone, and like he just seems like a down to earth fucking dude.
Right? He's like the Tom Hanks of hip hop.
There's no crying in baseball. There's no crying in
There's no
hip-hop.
crying in baseball. I always pull that.
Did
Whenever
Tom Hanks and Jerry Seinfeld ever do a movie together?
I don't know. They should have.
Yeah.
I mean, Seinfeld wasn't really like a movie guy, but fucking anytime A League of Their Own comes up, I always quote, "Avoid the clap, Jimmy Dugan." That's good advice.
Thomas Hanks.
Did you throw your hat down then, too?
Anybody ever tell you look like a penis with a little hat on? Oh my god, dude! A League of Their Own is my dad's favorite movie. He would just eat the.
Really? I thought it would be Major League for him.
Oh, he loves that one too, dude. He was in Major League.
I know. So many people from that time. One of my
was in
teachers
Major
was
League?
too.
What?
Yeah, because
they-
they needed people to come. They filmed it at County Stadium.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And-
The bouncer that let them into the safe house, which this is a whole story, but the bouncer that let them into where they filmed the bar scene with Charlie Sheen and some people, that was a safe house where Britt used to work.
Right.
But the bouncer used to be was in that scene was one of my teachers. He
No
loved that.
shit.
Wow.
And you know what they did to the table they sat at? That was like an attraction for people to come and see.
Yeah. They had like all the news articles and shit like that.
You know what they
right?
did with
Where-
that table?
What?
They fucking threw it out when
Yeah, because
Marcus came in.
Marcus
What?
bought the
You know
safe
what
house.
happened? One of the staff members was like,
That's got to be out there someplace.
yeah, one of the staff members was like, I'm going to just take this home.
Sell that motherfucker.
Whoa, right?
And he did. He has it at his house.
That is
Sell it.
That is something that is either going to be worth like a lot of money because there's nothing like it out there.
Everyone used to sit there after bar close because I'd go in there because I had to pick up my girlfriend at the time when she worked there, and we'd all just sit and drink at that table.
Every
Now,
time.
for the listeners, this place, the Safe House, is basically like this little like spy themed bar. But one of the reasons
It's
it's so
a speakeasy type theme, but
Yeah.
with like a Cold War twist.
yeah. But one of the things that made it so cool was like the newsroom in the Safe House. It's like a bar and a restaurant with this whole theme. It's right across from one of the major theaters in Milwaukee where like all the stand-up comics come through, all these
Yep.
big acts come through. So they come
Ergo,
and hang
end
out
up there. Like John C.
Yeah.
Riley was there once. I met pro skater Greg Lutzka.
We almost fought.
Jim Jeffries was there.
we almost-
Jim Jeffries was there. We shared about that story previously. That guy, not a fan anymore. That's too bad.
Racist.
But,
cunt.
Honestly, dude, I'm so torn about him because I find him like genuinely funny, but he also has like, and he is very self-aware about what a cunt he
Oh
is.
yeah. He is. He's very self-aware of it.
Right. But that
But
was got a little ugly that night.
Yeah, he was so intoxicated, and I did not like that.
That shit was funny though with Sean. Like, hey, you're a comedian.
Tell us
me
a joke.
Because that was something he specifically said I didn't like doing.
Oh,
But
it's
the
really
place-
too bad that guy died, you know?
The
It's really too bad Sean died.
yeah, R.I.P. But what's unfortunate is the Safe House was privately owned up until 3-4 years ago. And now Marcus Theaters owns it.
Marcus.
Right, they
Theater.
shut
a
it
lot
down
different
for a
now.
while. They redid. I have not been in there since the redoing. Like,
And it used to be a one of a kind landmark.
So
now they
please silence your phones when you come into the safe house.
But it used to be a one
now
of
it's
a
a
kind.
Marvel themed bar.
You get spider webbed when you walk
You gotta
in.
walk through Hulk's legs when you go in now. But the bar now is owned by Marcus, and it used to be a one of a kind thing, just like a
It
single
was a
entity.
Milwaukee thing.
Now they have one in Chicago.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
fucking
Wait,
franchising it.
fucking what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
They opened one in Chicago. My girlfriend was offered.
Treason.
It is.
Yeah, it is treason, man.
My girl was offered a job to go train down there, and it was just like, no.
Train other people or train with people?
Go down there and train people and be like a manager, and it was just like, nah,
Horse shit
nah.
with a capital H-O-R-S-E.
I love Chicago, but I don't actually want to live down there.
S-H-I-T.
Horse the shit.
Horse the band.
My new rap name, Horse the Shit.
Okay, I have one more idea for suggestion box before we go on to music. So with e-cigarettes, the only logical step
from here.
from here is e-dipping.
So what? You put an electric packet in your mouth and it shocks you?
It's just a straw.
I was thinking it would be like it would inject nicotine via small hypodermic needles and then somehow stimulate the salivation so you'd still have to spit.
I'm picturing almost like a tattoo machine where you stick it in your lip and it just constantly is going. It's just like,
It's like, ooh, it hurts. It's like, it's your first dip, pussy, huh?
It's your first E-dip, right?
So yeah, it would stimulate salivation, even though it's completely useless to offer
you
an authentic dipping experience.
you know what this reminds me of?
What?
Are you e-bumping? And then
So-
just dip is just flowing out of their mouth, just all over their shirt. Just like,
But instead, it just looks like
e-bumping.
it just looks like canola oil coming out of their mouth.
So I was thinking it was like people would be like, oh, this is the safe alternative. There's no side effects. And then years down the line, they would discover that it causes a syndrome called beef broth tongue. Kind of like popcorn lung.
Yeah.
Where like popcorn lung actually has nothing to do with like any kind of like popcorn visualization,
Right.
or it's because people in the microwave popcorn industry who would work in the factories, the flavoring, they'd inhale this flavoring
Yep.
and it would give them this syndrome. And it came out several years ago that these flavorings in e-cigarettes were causing this same syndrome to happen. But this would just be like another syndrome where you get beef broth tongue. And it would just cause your fucking spit to taste like beef broth to
Constantly
you.
tasting au jus.
yeah, I was just gonna say it's like those beef cubes or whatever.
Yeah, you fucking put it that will be the fucking supplement to quit fucking e-dipping. Just
beef
put,
bouillon cubes.
Yeah, just drop
It just
sublingually
tastes so
under the
good, though.
tongue. Put a beef broth bouillon cube underneath to satisfy your
Either that or
cravings.
drink a cup of au jus every 4 hours.
I just got a hankering for French dip.
Just fucking,
And then he doesn't even eat the sandwich. He just guzzles down the broth.
Can I get some more? Can I get some more au jus with my French dip?
sir, I think you've had enough.
He goes into Arby's.
Back to back
He
shot.
goes into Arby's. He just grabs the whole tank of au jus and just.
Arby's becomes the new crack den.
I got a job at Arby's to supplement my au jus addiction.
He's just scooping it out with the ladle.
Someone help me.
Oh,
man.
that one was good.
I liked all of them.
We had one winner out of that. I felt like that one was the best.
Babies going out to the sea.
Dude, fucking
Oh yeah, that was a good one
Baby
too.
birthing.
That was great.
beef broth tongue.
Beef broth tongue. What was our first one?
Does it taste like au jus in here to you?
Does it smell like au jus in here?
What was the first one?
Survivor band.
Survivor
we didn't
band.
go too
Wet
deep into
wipes.
that one. We
Survivor
started-
band.
Yep.
Dad wipes. It got sidetracked with dad wipes. And
Dude
wet
wipes, not dad wipes.
Dude wipes. Dad wipes.
I think
Adult.
we got a good half hour out of that one. Let's break and do music. Will BRB.
Gotcha. And now it's time for music reviews.
So I went first last week.
You want me to go
Stefan
first?
goes first this week.
So we were true to our promise with pretty true. There was some metal inspiration in what you picked, but
Very little,
it was
and I
very
thought
subtle.
I thought it was like funny because I actually petitioned the internet to give me some picks, and I was like, "Give me your non-metal prog picks," And then I was listening to it, and then all of a sudden, fucking metal. And I was like, except when this rolls around.
Yeah, they definitely have some metal musicians in yours, but we'll get to that. My pick was Sergei Pravovsky's Alexander Nevsky soundtrack. So the movie was Alexander Nevsky, and Sergei Pravovsky was a famous Russian Soviet composer who's known for his works with Romeo and Juliet, which is the one I'm most familiar with. That's where Dance of the Nights comes from. The Love of Three Oranges, Peter and the Wolf. But he made this composition for the film Alexander Nevsky, which
When did this film come out, by the way? I didn't dig into it.
I think it was 1938. But it's seen as a
Damn,
propaganda
right
film.
before World War II, huh?
But it's seen as a propaganda film against
see that.
Nazi Germany because
Alexander-
the Teutonic Knights in that film were given Stahlhelms and stuff like that. And
Well, to explain a little bit about Alexander, the subject matter, he was, I think it was 1240. He was given sainthood, basically.
by
But
the Orthodox Russian Church.
yeah, he was known as repelling the Swedish and German invaders.
Teutonic invasions. And the
But
battle
it was what is modern day Sweden and Germany.
Yeah, a little northern of that, but
Right.
there was a group of Teutonic Knights. I forgot the exact name of the order, but they were a little bit north in northern Europe. But he would be known for a large battle that would go on actually on top of a frozen lake, and Sergei Pravovsky would do a extremely long piece. In the album I sent you, it's chopped up into I think 6 different parts, but it's simply known as the Battle on the Ice. Did you catch that? as the-
No, because what I had listened to was the YouTube link that you had sent me, and it was just a
all, it
constant.
all flowed all the way through.
Yeah.
But I think Battle on the Ice, I think, clocks in at like a whopping huge chunk of that album. Give me a second.
It's
to get
got
the actual
to
time.
it's got to be later on though, because like
It's
that's
like the entire
climax.
It's the entire. It's the middle. It follows a very basic, very basic movie progression where the climax is right in the middle.
I thought it was like really great to.
It clocks in at about 12 minutes.
I thought it was like great to hear like something composed like that for a movie that is so old. Like that's kind of stuff like of like the epics you would expect, where you're
It's epic.
like Lawrence of Arabia. Star Wars is a little bit different style. It's more romantic than this is.
But you can still see where people like John Williams and even the guy that composed Lord of the Rings would get some sort of influence from
Right.
Sergei Pravovsky's just grandiose epics. And you can tell what's going on. It promotes a feeling through the music of what's going on, and you can even tell if you catch some of the song titles, like The Burning of Prokofiev, like one of the opening tracks. You can tell that it's dramatic simply by the way it's composed.
It's interesting to see how different scoring, like a classical scoring, even in that era, differs from the traditional like classical style, because you are composing to something that has a visual narrative to it. And one of the tricky things about composing to film is how do you change with like what's referred to as I don't know what the protocol was back in the day, but generally you have something called picture lock, which is the picture is not going to change anymore. The way that video is edited is not going to change. So you can actually like work out your timings of how to like structure the music so it times up with like what is happening.
The film.
Otherwise, if you don't that, you have to constantly rewrite.
I will be.
Right.
I will be completely honest. I have not seen this movie.
Me neither.
I only put it in my queue because I had heard the songs, The Burning of Prokofiev, and I had heard of the Battle of the Ice. I hadn't actually listened to it until this week because I had heard of Sergei Prokofiev's music from Romeo and Juliet, because there was a time where I was listening to compositions and his compositions for songs like The Death of Mercutio and a couple of other pieces slipped in there, and I was like, I should check this guy out some more. He has very grand swells for lack of actual music term. He has like these big swells, and then it
One of the things that
Clashes out.
I kind of picked up on was the use of the more traditional style that is like I actually have a Soviet Army choir record.
We sampled some of that shit.
Yeah, we did. But you can tell like the kind of Red Army vocal choir style is very much
definitely
so
in the beginning.
in this.
Definitely in the beginning, they rely very heavily on that in the beginning.
Love that shit. I've always thought, even though the Reds were our enemies at the time, that man, they got fucking great choir singers.
They got some good music.
You want to get some motherfuckers marching?
Outside of the Red Army tongue choir, I don't know if I've ever shared that with you guys. Yeah, they just,
Yeah, just a bunch of guys going.
Back to the Red Army fucking marching shit. You want to see me doing squats? I'll
yeah,
rip
I get a
some
little
pants,
Slav
dude.
in here.
Well, are you talking Red Army, like the strain that'll be put on your face? You're going from purple to red. You're fucking dickhead.
But you enjoyed the album though, right?
Yeah, I always enjoy classical stuff.
I thought it was great. I liked the progression of the album from the beginning to the onset of conflict to the climax defense, and then the victory. The album, you could tell, is probably very well suited to the movie, which I now feel like I have to check
What
out.
movie does it go with?
The movie's called Alexander Nevsky.
Okay.
But you could just tell the progression of the film through the orchestrated score.
Like something that has a soundtrack that epic. I'm just thinking that the movie that goes along with it has to be good. But I'm having a hard time thinking that it's going to be not dated because it was from 38.
Right.
But like
I like those old films, so I might not get that much of an effect. Like there's some really old black and white films like Siegfried. It's a German operatic number. That shit is awesome. They have an ending fight, no CGI. I love that shit. I mean, the guys have gaudy makeup and like stupid looking
But-
wigs, but it's awesome.
Neither did Lawrence of Arabia, and it has that grand. It's what inspired Spielberg and Lucas to make the films that they made. Lawrence of Arabia, I think, was made in the 60s, and there was no modern effects. There's no CGI. It doesn't exist. All of it was practical effects. There's these shots of grand battles and clashes where they actually had to like orchestrate the movement of the armies just for the shot. And
Siegfried's like that.
Okay.
It takes a little while to get into it, and it's a 2-part.
so
film.
did that film.
But another movie that you probably want to check out. I don't remember the orchestrated scoring for it, but George Lucas was really inspired by this film. It's called The Hidden Fortress. It's a Toshiro Mifune. Sorry.
Oh, it's one of the Japanese ones?
Mifune. Yeah, it's a Japanese film, and that used to be on Hulu when they had the Criterion Collection. That's a really good movie too. It's about whisking a princess to safety. Wow. I wonder where he got the idea for A New Hope.
You know, I always got the same feeling from, I think it was made in the 80s, the Fire and Ice.
The one with Rexar.
Yeah. They straight up stole Rexar the Orc Hunter.
From World of Warcraft from this film.
Yeah.
He even has the same mask
Oh,
and
yeah.
shit.
Yeah. There is just this epic animated film, and it looks like it wasn't finished. It looks like it had another layer of production that should have went over it. And it's just amazing how like fluent the animation is. It seems like
It's
they
a
probably
cool movie.
It basically is about like this brute saving a princess. And I get the Star Wars vibe right down to the fucking Death Star run at the end. They literally have like pterodactyls that they use to assault this like
enemy fortress,
evil
yeah.
enemy fortress. It's like if Star Wars took place when dinosaurs still existed and we were still tribes of barbarians.
That's fucking
But
awesome.
Seriously, check out The Hidden Fortress. I mean, I even Googled it because I wanted to make sure I had the title right. But
Bring up the
third-
picture.
The third
click on that
video
first
in,
picture.
George Lucas on The Hidden Fortress. He loved that film.
Right.
He loved that
Right, I
film.
see that.
This is the movie title. Poster. This is an updated one. Let's go to images.
Starring Matt Damon.
Actually, seriously, that guy, I love Toshiro Mifune. All his movies and shit are just so cool. I love those black and white samurai movies.
Starring Matt
Oh, yeah,
Damon and
dude.
Scarlett Johansson.
Like that dude's look and just his like demeanor is awesome. It was a cool film. It used to be on Hulu. It's not on there anymore. You probably have to get it on
Crackle.
DVD
Well, why
or
the
Crackle.
fuck am I paying for Hulu?
Oh, here's the original poster. This is the original movie poster.
Nice. I like the monochrome. Is it technically monochrome if it's just like one color and it's like a
This is
grayscale
two-
except
this
it's
is
green
this
scale?
is 3 colors. Yeah, I think that's accurate.
That could be a screen.
Here's the cast together. in a
Oh,
good
nice.
shot.
Little Last Supper there.
But I will not spoil any of the movie because it's just a fun film.
I'll have to check that one out. What's the name of the film?
The Hidden Fortress.
And what's the name of the film with your music pick this week and your music?
Alexander Nevsky. I might be butchering that. It's Alexander and then
Right.
Nev,
Nevsky.
N-E-V, and then
Is he
Scott,
Russian or
S-K-Y.
Polish? Who knows?
But I enjoyed it.
Ukrainian.
It had been on my list for a long time, and I kind of had been brushing it aside. But I really appreciate in an album when I can feel like a story progressing, like
Right, the narrative of it.
Like the Leviathan album I gave you. Yeah, it was a dude getting tortured for an hour and a half, but there were parts where it was like, oh, here's a little bit of reprieve, and then closer to the end, it was like, I'm finally out of this. No, I'm not. I'm back into like a tragic ending. And I'm stuck.
I would probably need to re-listen to it and assign that kind of narrative to it to maybe appreciate it, but that would be challenging.
Just because you don't need to hear the tortured screams of a man for an hour and a half.
My dad actually, he
chucked
watched
it out?
He watched the entire episode last night,
Did you check it out?
and what he told me, he was like, one of my favorite things that you had said is one man's torture is another man's boner.
What was his name?
Whip and chain there.
Bolton.
Yeah, that's what I said. It's like being the soundtrack of being flayed alive in House Bolton.
Yeah. You did say that. So the Stratosphere, you want to jump in on this?
Okay, my pick for this week was brought to me through a Facebook music thread, and I just kind of solicited for progressive,
You get lucky
but
with those.
non-metal.
I post those on Instagram.
Doug is
know how many
very
responses I
fucking
got?
connected.
You know how many responses I got? Zero.
None. That's because
I don't have
that
anything.
network is fresh to you. I've had this like I literally have a bunch of weirdos that I spammed advertising my own band. Bam.
Spammed my own bam.
Back in 2009 when the iPhone came out, what I would do is I would have like a copy paste link,
Yeah, you
and
just
then
throw
I'd
it
go
out
to a
there.
band that had a thread that was like very populated, that was kind of like the material I was going, and I'd just go through each person, I'd add them, and then when they'd add me, I'd send them a message. And
Yeah.
I would just do this while I worked.
Which is now in frown
and
etiquette.
yeah, it is very frowned upon, and
Still happens
we
on,
do not
on the
yeah, but
Instagram format. I'm
Most
at.
people don't even click this shit
Right.
when you send it to them.
I had a good success rate with it, and I made
You
a
were at the
lot
right
of
time.
like cool. Yeah, it wasn't necessarily. It was.
But that was the other
it
thing
was
too.
still
Is you
emergent.
didn't just flat them. A lot of people that did that flatted them. You continued to converse and
Right,
carry on.
there
some
was, like,
sort of
several-
frame of
But
conversation.
honestly, to be completely honest, it was just a complete flat, canned response at the beginning. But that ended
It
up
still
like
grows into
Yeah,
something.
it grew into like the people who get offended by it, they will just drop off. They won't talk to you anymore. But
Right.
I ended up like amassing maybe like a couple hundred people that like over the years I've actually developed new relationships with. So I find it very useful to use these people for music suggestions.
And this is not the first time
You
he's
know?
talked about it.
Yeah.
He just goes, "Give me your weird
Yeah.
shit," and that's where
I
you
see
got
it's supposed-
a Stratosphere.
Well, Stefan, see, you're not big on Facebook. I am directly connected with Doug on Facebook, so I
Yeah,
see
you guys
his
are getting
posts.
zucked off.
Like all I did was like just give me your picks, post your links below, fucking 50 comment thread, just fresh shit. So this one was one of the first. I actually saved this, and there's some more gems in it. A Stratosphere. The album is It's Understood, but the song that was initially posted is a song called Hunger Strike.
That's the title track, isn't
Yeah.
it?
It is 20 minutes long.
Jesus Christ! I thought "Rhyme of the Yankee."
And I just
Mariner
wanna
was a
say-
long fucking song.
How bohemian can you get?
Right. This starting off, Stratosphere is a band that formed in the late 90s.
I actually think it might have been early 90s. It's like the original indie mishmash.
It is. I wouldn't associate it with indie because when you say indie, you start to like associate like.
Okay, late 1990s. So that's early 90s.
Late 1990s.
Late 1990s is
It's
late 90s.
Okay, sorry.
Fucking
So
I'm sorry.
they didn't publish their first album until the year 2000, but this is an ensemble of 5 individuals, and I think all
It's
of them.
more than that. There's 6 deep.
Well,
one extra.
There's yeah, okay, all right.
I'm 60.
I'll give you that. How long's that, Steve-O? Hold up the fingers. Whoop.
6.
So, a Stratosphere has their roots in jazz, but one of the predominant styles that goes with their mishmash of styles, because there's many,
Especially
many
in this
styles.
album.
Yeah, and it's like honestly,
I didn't listen
across
to
the, I listened to like
But on this one,
I'd
for
go
sure.
beyond their album and just like YouTube Music would play the next batch of albums. To be honest, I kind of like that stuff, the later stuff, a little bit better.
I didn't get that deep.
Okay,
I
basically it's a jazz at its foundation, loose format, but I never have the impression where it's like, oh, I'm listening to jazz. That
No,
doesn't happen. to
This
me.
was definitely more solidly grounded in a bohemian feel to me.
Right? There's no jam sessions that happen in this. You know, no,
No,
like
it has a thought out flow and progression, although in my opinion, in some points it did not work well.
well, that's kind of what I like about it because they are throwing out these different styles to do like transitional material, and it's just all over the place.
I mean, I think the third track in it goes straight up fucking Mario. And
That's the second track.
I think
That's straight up a rip of they're covering a song
But then
from a Mario.
I think the third track out they do it too, or the second to last track they do the same thing too.
yeah, that's like 2 of them. That's like a kind of like a lesser style that I got from the album. It just was like thrown.
I mean, there's a lot of just shit thrown in there.
So, what I was trying to get out for like the last 3 minutes is it's primarily jazz, but the other predominant style I feel is gypsy kind of music.
Oh, that's offensive.
That's the bohemian style.
When I think bohemian, I kind of think like a alternate. Well, yeah, I guess that would be gypsies would be a little bohemian because they
bohemian.
don't have like 9 to 5s. They kind of just like do what they need to do to get the money.
The bohemian
Survive.
is the gypsy style.
Shower Dodger.
That's hippies, man.
Taking our baths all day.
So what I liked about this music was its fusion of a bunch of styles rapidly. They kind of just like created this interesting, both like in rhythmic principles, they had these like very like kind of like mathy parts, not particularly complex, but it was more math and music and like rhythmic driven. And then they had, some nice parts where like the bass takes over, like actually doing the melodic progression underneath. That's actually what's doing the melody. And then you have everything else like being a percussive instrument together. I thought the orchestration of several individuals being one percussive element happens a lot in this. And I really love that shit. Like in metal, that's what where basically my whole network of like people I don't know in real life that I'm drawing music from. That's like the one thing a lot of those people have in common was just this percussive metal, this rhythmic metal that we're driving it from. So it doesn't
How about the
surprise me
rhythm?
that somebody would suggest me something that is progressive but not metal. But I specifically stated no metal.
And
12
you still
minutes.
got this, and this was very much metal.
Still metal. Like they still have segments of the stuff where they just change the style up.
I am going to
It's
say
just
though,
straight up metal.
Yeah, and I am going to say though that was when that happened in the album was my biggest turnoff. Not maybe part of it had to do with you saying there's going to be no metal this weekend, but the way it was done for me was a big boner killer.
I liked it. I really did like it because it had like elements of like black metal in it. Like,
Did you feel that way?
yeah, I really did. So basically, the first track is this very long piece, and then
Dancing at the fire with the wagons wheeled around.
immediately
with your gypsy
afterwards,
friends.
they switch over to like
Bikies.
a chiptune style, and it's completely like programmed with like MIDI.
Yeah,
it's
we
like
go
a
to World
Mario
3 of
level.
Mario.
And then the third song is, I think it's called The Transformation. It's very cool because they go through like a couple different like styles that they stick to, and they have like a motif.
I will say I felt like that was the one where everyone gets their little piece because this band is a culmination of different kinds of instrumentalists. From what I was doing my research on, there's jazz guys, metal guys, XYZ. I feel like that was the one where everyone got to do their little piece, and then the album progressed into what it was going to be. It was like 2 songs intro, introductions, like fucking I don't even know how to describe exactly as I described it. Everyone had a little introduction, and they went into the rest of the album.
What I mainly derived from this album is that it is very self-aware. Like it's musicians, but they are very self-aware of how absurd their material is.
I will not deny that in any way. They definitely are self-aware.
And they do not even there's very little lyrics to it. But
the
like,
lyrics that are in there are fucking ribbing themselves.
Yes.
One of the lines I'm pretty sure is like, "That's shit."
there is a track, being it was at the turn of the new millennium, the new age, like hippie mantra om kind of religious stuff was like very popular, and they have a track called Spreading the Disease that is straight up dedicated to making fun of these people. And this was something that,
I like it.
just as a troll, I thought was fucking excellent. It starts out as a metal, just dun, 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 and then all of a sudden this warm blanket of pads and ambience wraps around you, and this guy, this guy comes across. He's like, "Hello, and welcome to the new age." And he keeps on going on like
long chunk of it.
golden for a real long time. And he straight up entices the users. If you're into the new age, I want you to get up and come to the speaker and put your body against it. And then dun, 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 just switches back to metal. And I was like, yes, this is fucking great. Not as like a piece of music, but as something that is making fun of something.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And then they basically started doing like, breathe in and out.
Yeah.
And in.
Hands up, man. Hands
and out.
down.
And then they straight
Back up. Tell me what you're gonna.
they start like this like tantric breathing exercise,
Oh God.
but then they straight up so it's like stick it in. Stick it in, feel it growing. It like it turns
Tantric
into this
sex.
metaphor for tantric sex, and I kind of feel like he was making fun of dudes who kind of subscribe to that new age thing
Yeah,
because
fuck all that.
it was more of
met
like
one
a
of those- I met
female
one of
driven.
those
It was like your moon cycle and where Mercury is in retrograde. You tend to hear that more from ladies.
I
Yeah.
met one of those new age guys when I was in Appleton.
Did you
We got a
get
slice
the
of
feeling?
Pizza. We got a slice of pizza.
Did you get
Me and
the
the guy I went out there to go paint with, Sam Lenz, went to go get a slice of pizza, and this guy comes up. He's kind of like hovering behind us.
Was he selling flowers in the bar?
No, he was just kind of hovering behind us. This dude had like, the loose hemp made shirt with like the like couple strands up at the collar, and like a slick back hair and like
Not
the-
hemp, tweed.
Yeah, tweed.
Flax. My bad,
Thanks,
flax.
thanks. And then
Flax.
he had the sandals and like the green olive shorts, and he's just like standing behind us while we're ordering pizza. And we grab a slice and we go sit down, and this guy kind of like shuffles behind us because there's no one else in this pizza place. It's just the three of us. We're watching that 70s show on the projector because they have a projector in this pizza place. And we're talking, and this guy's like, hey, what's up, guys? Nothing. What are you guys doing tonight? I just responded, we're painting. And then,
Oh,
what are you painting? We elaborate on that. We were painting miniatures, blah, 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 blah. Nerdy shit. Like, Sam went way more into it. I was just like, we should just left it. We were painting a picture together, nude, with our fingers holding each other.
dipping my
Then
tits
this
in
guy's just
finger
like,
paints.
oh, that's cool. Like, I just moved out here and, I'm just trying to spread like the healthy word, It's like, a lot of people, there's like a really strong placebo effect. Your mind can heal all wounds. And I mean, to some level, I agree with him. Like, your mind is a
the
powerful
placebo
tool.
effect,
But if you have an abscess the size of your hand on your thigh, you might want to go see a doctor. And this guy was just, he just launched off into his tangent about New Age medicine and how you can just rub each other's backs in oil and you'll be all right.
Take this eucalyptus oil and rub it on your partner's back for a week, and that tumor will now just be a cyst.
I have no doubt that a lot of like that stuff has some grounds in preventative stuff, but I don't like spreading that around because for the meek-minded, the fickle-minded, people tend to
just buy into
subscribe
it.
to that
mantra.
and do it in the sense where there's something actually serious.
That mantra still plays
Easily
into
curable.
that mantra still plays in you being incredibly physically active. Mm-hmm. It plays
Absolutely.
into you being healthy, eating well, taking care of your body already outside of the fact
Right.
of what an average person would do. You can't just say, I'll just think happy thoughts. That's it. You have to do the entire other half of that.
You have to live a positive lifestyle
Yeah.
as well. What I was gonna bring up, like as far as all that shit goes, was
And still,
I was
even when you're
actually-
living that lifestyle, you got an abscess on your leg. You need to go to the fucking doctor.
I was actually just
Sorry.
having a discussion. Anti-vaxxers, whatever, blah blah blah. But where I wanted to go with it was my cousin is a fucking registered nurse, and she's constantly posting like anti-vax shit on Facebook.
You're a fucking nurse. You can't be doing
You're a
that.
fucking nurse. Like, isn't there like
You got,
HIPAA laws and
you
shit?
got
Like,
fucking measles out there in Seattle
dude.
and shit, Portland.
and it's like she's like totally like anti-vax. It's like you can't be a fucking nurse and like spread this kind of shit. Like, even if you
That's
are,
dangerous.
don't put that shit out into the world because people are gonna buy it more off of you
Because
because they think you know what the fuck you're
But she's
talking
not gonna
about.
think there's anything wrong with that.
Right. But it's like, okay, well, like I've brought up before, come and fucking talk to me when you're upset when your kid has fucking polio when that shit hasn't showed up in how many years. Like,
Yeah.
but
That's
it's
the
like
whole
as,
measles thing now.
as a fucking nurse, like you should not be able to spread that. kind of stuff.
a bad mess.
Get here from a stratosphere.
Oh, right. Oh, the new age, the new age,
the new
shitting
age
thing.
shit.
Yeah, my
But
bad.
a
My bad.
stratosphere
Hey, man, this
ahead
is
of the
great.
curb, fucking 20 years earlier, fucking pooping all over it.
Now, I wanted to do two more comments on specific things that I liked about them. The end track. When it ends, it's called D flat hell.
Yep.
And then at the end of the track, there's like one of those, 90s, after the song is over, you've listened this far, there's like a little commentary thing where the guy literally starts like, oh, wow.
You made
Great job. Do, do, do. He literally
Yeah, he's
starts
humming
he's miming the song and making fun of it.
Yeah,
And
that's
then he's like literally like, oh, you fucking white people listen. He is a white dude. He's like, you white people out there, I wouldn't fucking even look at you. It's like, I'll fucking kill you. I will infect your brains and give you a disease. It's just this guy going off for like a good couple minutes. At the end of a recording session, it's like the humor you'd expect from like these like quirky musicians, and I really loved that.
Fuck yeah.
So then the next album kicks in, and it was so different. It was like going from,
I didn't get to the next album. I just did this one, and I
I don't even know what it's called, but it has like a picture of like a deer in crosshairs and just like various hunting gear on the side. It's a great fucking album cover.
I did not listen to that one. I got through.
I didn't
the
listen
one
to
you
it all
sent me.
either.
I got through the one you sent me, and I liked parts of it. I thought the transitions at certain points were really rough.
That happens with Prague.
I mean,
though.
I get where they were coming from, but at some point I was like, did Doug do this to me? Because he thought I tortured him so much with Leviathan the week before. Because I feel like they had all these. I feel like all the ideas were there. I just felt like it wasn't necessarily stitched really well together. But I did enjoy it, a good chunk of it.
That's good. Well, I thought you might like the sax because you have a soft
did.
spot for the sax.
I like.
There is some romantic, sexy saxophone
Oh yeah,
in there.
I liked the vast expanse of music they tried to cover. I thought some of the metal stuff.
It was just in there. It was
just in there. That exactly.
It
Some of
wasn't
the
a metal
stuff-
album though.
Yeah, some of the stuff in there, it was just like, this is just in there because one of the guys enjoys this. And at the same time, maybe I just was looking at it with the wrong perspective. But
Now the next album that just had a song randomly play off of it, like the rest of the content off that album is also drastically different, but it had this almost like 60s Star Trek. Ooh. It had the like a theremin and like a
I want to play the
strong
Kirk
female
fights
lead.
the fucking, what's the
I
name
didn't
of
even
it?
mention any of the fucking banjo. This is how all over the place. I'm done talking about this shit. I could go on for fucking
It's everywhere.
ever. Yeah, it
Every
is
goddamn
everywhere.
instrument.
Steve-O, you got anything you want to talk about?
I mean, I guess I didn't send any of it to you guys because,
That's
it's all
fine.
Kind of fucking
That's fine.
short notice. But
Yeah.
the shirt I'm wearing, another fucking punk band from Milwaukee, Lawless.
Nice.
She made the shirt herself, the lead singer, Bonnie. She does like fucking punk clothing and stuff. But
That's tight.
Lawless, she's a fucking badass.
Yeah, for what you can't see, one is a nuclear disarmament symbol and one is a nuclear waste symbol.
Yeah.
And a skull.
Radioactive.
So they derive a lot off of UK 82 punk, which is considered like the second wave of punk to come out of the UK. So more like street punk.
Is
Yeah,
82 referring to like the year?
Yeah,
Okay.
because like at first it was 77.
Yeah, late 70s.
And then it was 82. So they like break off a lot from 82. And
So what does it have more in common? Just like rough guitar riffs that's just like straight up
that and like
or is it
Lyrical
more of
themes.
the surf rock?
no,
of
it's
thing?
That's not surf rock. They
it's
didn't do that in the UK.
Street punk, like super fucking just heavy, like in your face, fucking
Lyrical themes.
nothing off the top of my head because like I've only seen them live. They don't have anything out yet. But like seeing them live, fucking Sabbatic and shit, they play their shows, Frank's Power Plant, stuff like that. Dude, she fucking kills it. Like she is a presence, dude. Like
That's good,
she's a-
especially live.
yeah, she's a fucking badass. She makes all
Hopefully
these
they can-
clothes. She makes her own shirts and shit. They've really been killing it and like
Is that a Bleach shirt?
Hopefully that.
yeah.
hopefully though they
she
can.
made all this with bleach.
Hopefully
Right.
they can transfer that onto their album presence when they finally do release one. Because you can do that.
Now, Steve-O is holding his shirt up. What I used to call
What's this?
the Vanteras. Yeah.
Vanteras.
Steve-O had gotten some bleach on some black Vans, and it looked like fire and explosions, basically.
The
Same
fucking
effect.
classic Dimebag.
yeah,
flame
so I
Converse.
was like, what are those? Some Pantera Vans? He's like, oh, Vanteras, motherfucker.
That was when I first came back from Arizona.
Right. Oh, good times,
dude.
man.
Oh,
That's
my
when you and me
God.
actually started fucking hanging out.
Dude, fuck
Like,
yeah. We
independent of like Stefan or Sean.
It first started right before I left. And then I left and came back, and it was like, bam. Dude.
You know, Babyface wants to kick it. He hit me up, Jason.
Angel Soft?
Babyface,
Really?
Eberhart.
Wow.
He just hit me up like one day I was driving home. It was fucked up. I was listening to All Shall Perish. As soon as I hit play, he texts me. He's like,
And that's like
"What
some
are
of
you
his
doing
shit.
right now?" And I was like, "What the fuck?"
Like some of his music.
Yeah,
and shit,
I guess
like,
he's out of town this week, but next week he wants to kick it with.
Apparently-
You know,
Use-
I don't really subscribe to a lot of that like coincidence stuff, but sometimes it makes you fucking
it's like,
wonder.
wow,
I was just
man.
like that. It was just like that's a weird hap stance, but he wants to kick it with us. Sean, R.I.P. That can't happen.
Well, what was it? 2 years ago when I was still with my ex, that was the bartender and shit. He showed up with Aaron and Sean at her
Yeah,
bar in South Milwaukee.
yeah.
Were you
I was there too. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he drank Red Bulls.
Yeah, he drank fucking
'Cause
energy
he's
drinks
so
the whole
sober.
time.
I'm so proud of him.
Yeah, dude, that's a good thing, man.
Yeah.
Can't hate on it. I'm sitting there just taking shots left and right.
Yeah, it was like your birthday, wasn't it? No,
No,
it was a different one.
My birthday.
All right. I think it is time to.
Sorry, folks. We'll
Call
regale you
it.
with stories some other time.
Thanks for joining us for this long. We will see you next fucking week. Hey, but by the way, if you enjoyed this video, go on YouTube, subscribe to us so you can get our videos and make Radio Loud radio proud. Good day.